Juice guys today. Okay, Christian Hillborn, this is cool. Gave it to Coach Castor. I think he was pushing him more than ever today. Because one of those things after a scrimmage day, you got to get back out and get to work. And I thought he brought it. Khalil gave it to Keith Brown. I thought Keith has had a pretty good camp so far. He's fighting with KT. He's battling Wes. I mean, we're gonna count on all three of those guys. And Coach Brown gave it to Capenna. I thought he's really taking his game to the next level, and continue to see that him make plays is a really positive thing.
That last kind of team period, was it kind of like a mini scrimmage, or what was kind of like the ideology behind that? What was kind of the plan there?
We call this situational week, so we break the two teams into crimson and gray, a little bit like a spring game. When we first got in the stadium, we did an end of half scenario. The last one was a end of game scenario. 2:23, no timeouts. Crimson needed to score. The gray, kind of the one defense got the stop there. So all week we're going to put them in different nuances, different situations. The Wednesday night practice will have a ton of Hail Mary to 2 points to overtimes to a whole bunch of different things that we got to make sure we're ready to go.
Yeah, obviously had a chance to watch kind of the tape from what the scrimmage said. Anyone that kind of stood out to you from the tape that maybe you didn't notice live and in action?
Well, I think start with the quarterbacks. I think John did a good job commanding it, didn't have a takeaway. I thought he did a good job with his feet when necessary, obviously in a non-live situation, delivered the ball well and accuracy. I thought Zevi did a good job battling back, just like I thought. We just got to get him out of kind of every practice. He has one of those kind of just throws he regrets, and then he kind of snaps back out of it. Wayshawn Parker, I think, did some special things with the football. We got to get Noah Dunham probably just playing one position because it's been pretty difficult on him. Tyson Durant continues to be really, really solid for us at that free safety position. And Wes Steiner, I thought, stood out a little bit, that we got to keep elevating him once he continues to figure his stuff out. So some good things out of the scrimmage, but we got to keep getting better.
John with, I thought, a couple of nice throws downfield today. One to Kyle over at Rogers and one to Josh here. How much of a part of his game, just the deep ball, kind of factors into your kind of decision-making here?
John's got a huge arm. I think it's a combination. Like I said, they're both different style guys, and John provides through any arm angle, any slot, any position, he can deliver it quite a few ways down the field. But his accuracy today was super sharp. It's exactly what we need to see, especially he was under duress a little bit, and we got to shore up those pockets. So positive day for John.
He was holding some kicks. Is the plan to have him hold kicks during the season?
Well, sudden change was in today. We did a couple of them, but Haber right in pre-practice, his back locked up. So then all of a sudden there goes our holder. So John's got to be ready to go. So one of those things is good. We better work it, and you better not be surprised by it. You never know when your number is going to be called. So it's just good to see the ball go between the uprights. That's something that we got to shore up a little bit. The young kid Calvert has been phenomenal. So I don't think he's really missed in a competitive setting. I did one Saturday. And then Dean came back and reestablished himself today. So that's what we need, and it's competition at every level.
Just wanted to clarify from Saturday. You said that a week from today, it's a Saturday, you would name the starting quarterback. Does that mean
that'll be our final decision point. We'll probably put something out Monday. That'll be our final day of evaluating it. We'll talk to those two guys on Sunday, and then we'll kind of release that thing on Monday.
How do you think those guys are approaching I don't want to say the pressure of that, but just this huge week for them?
Well, I think they know. I've talked to them kind of a week, and it isn't going to be about the stats, guys. It's going to be about the guy that gives us the best chance of winning. And, sometimes you can't rationalize that with stats. You can't rationalize that with exact things or one moments or this period. It is a feeling. It is a gut through a body of work over the last 8 months. And, it's going to be hard. They're both competitors. But at the end of the day, when that thing comes, you got 24 hours, and then you got to snap back and you got to play your role, because you never know when your number is going to be called.
Do you think that, position battles, switching from Rogers to out here, the jousting, all that stuff kind of helped break up, I don't want to say the monotony of getting to week 3 of fall camp, but just kind of, everyone's used to hitting each other?
Oh, heck yeah. Our guys, I tell them all the time, routines are great. But you got to be used to, on a moment's notice, be ready to play. We'll play at 12, we'll play at 3:30, 4, 7, 7:30. We're going to have a 7:30 practice this week. We replicate all those things, right? But when the lights are on, you got to be ready to go. So that's what we're trying to replicate throughout the course of this week, and I think it's really good for our guys in this time of the year to get out of routine a little bit.
How have you seen John and Zevi when they bounce back from maybe a throw they like to have back, or maybe not executing the way that they would like to?
Well, I think both of them, I challenged them early in practice today. You know, I went around. I don't think we had a great start to offensive practice, and I was challenging both of those two guys to get going because I wanted to hear them. I don't want to hear myself. I don't want to hear Coach Buckle. I want to hear those two guys. But once again, when you make a mistake at quarterback, it isn't about your conviction being back up. It's the men around you. So I've liked what I've saw through those standpoints. I like the chatter of the offensive guys around these guys. I think they're doing a good job of bringing them back up to when they make a mistake.
And what are some of the things defensively, I guess, you're looking for as you get into before this second scrimmage here on Saturday?
So, like I said on Saturday, our communication on defense was not good enough, and it showed when we watched the film. And you saw every time we miscommunicate, big play, right? So it's great learns of, like, guys, we got to do this. I thought we did a good job taking the ball away. I think we got like 5 picks today, which obviously is way too much from the offensive standpoint. But if we can be that type of defense, you know, you can find a way to steal possessions. You can be really, really good. We have to shore up the red zone, you know, so we're going to continue to emphasize that. We gave up 4 touchdowns in the red zone Saturday. We got to be better in that area.
Ethan O'Connor said on Saturday that the cornerbacks started the spring as one of the weakest units, in his opinion, have risen to be one of the strongest units. What have you seen from your corners?
I probably wouldn't say weakest. I would probably say the most unproven, right? And I thought they've done a good job through the course of these 8 months really proving what they're capable of. Because we believed in those guys. We recruited them to do something great. And I think all of them have that, you know. And then we got the young guys, the Warren Smith, the Jalen Edmonds, okay, and the Kenny Worthies that are just kind of getting to where they need to be. So it's been a positive group. Once again, I'm just interested to see how those guys bounce back because it won't always be very easy.
We talked about defensive communication. How important is the noise and the defense learning how to work with the noise?
It's huge, you know, because we're going to be in some tough environments. You know, you're down in Boise, I think it's super loud, and our offense got to be able to handle it. And right here in Geisa Field, third down, it gets super loud. Like, our guys got to be able to communicate and make sure we're on the same page. So the more, you know, we put that pressure on them now, the more once they get it, they'll be relaxed and be able to execute and be their best.
I've seen Christian Hilborn at right tackle. Is that kind of the plan going forward, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I think we're pretty solid, you know, until we get Lely back, of having Christian there. And I actually think he's kind of thrived at that position a little bit, you know, use athleticism and body position. So he's been a positive through the course of these first, you know, few weeks of camp. But I just give a lot of credit to that kid because he hasn't been at a single position, it feels like, in the last 2 years. And that's hard to do. But I think he's capable of doing it, and we're excited about that.
And with Lely, you know, obviously working him back in, is there a situation where you still think he's back week 1 or maybe looking more like week 2 right now?
It's looking a little bit more like week 2. I think we have his next test sometime Saturday, Sunday, you know, and then there's a progression of getting him back into full contact. So we're still very hopeful. We still love the track that he's on. You know, he's still 8 months out, and we feel great about it. And, you know, his mental makeup, and he's itching. I can't even tell you guys how much he's itching to be out there. So he's been great in this, but I have his future to take care of too, and we'll make sure we don't put that in jeopardy. But when he's ready, he'll be out there and giving us a big lift at that right tackle position. And I mean big.
Sorry, just quickly, you talked about the kick punt game. How do you feel about your return game as it stands right now?
Well, right now, I mean, Tony Freeman's been just incredible, and Chris Hudson's right there on his heels. I mean, I don't know, since I've been here, we've had 2 really high-level, capable guys. Like I said, those are live tackle situations. You know, I think our punt game just needs to get shored up a little bit with our protection. You know, got a bunch of new guys up front, so it's looking good. We'll get to kind of the kickoff and kick return phases, and we got to be explosive. I mean, Leighton Smithson showed at the end of the year like what we can do with that unit when we get the right guy back there. So we need game breakers in that phase, and we'll be focused on that going forward too. All right, guys, go Cougs. Thank you, guys.